needs and business changes. Now you have the RACI matrix or RACI matrix, and basically it helps to define the roles and responsibilities in an organization or in a project. And it helps that organization have clarity around the critical activities by assigning responsibility and describing communication needs. Now the R stands for responsible, the A stands for accountable, the C stands for consult, and the I stands for inform. Now, for any given activity, individuals will be assigned to a particular role, whether it's the R or A or C or I. Now, with R, you have responsible, which is the person who actually carries out the process or task assignment, who is responsible for getting the job done. Then you have accountable, which is the person who is ultimately accountable for process or task being completed appropriately. Now, the responsible persons are accountable to this person. Now, the C is for consulted. So people who are not directly involved with carrying out the task, but who are consulted on the details of the task. This may be a stakeholder, or it could be an SME, subject matter expert. And then you have the I, which is informed, those who receive output from the process or task, or who have a need to stay informed. And you can see what that looks like right here. You see that you have a project manager here, you have the team lead here, and you have the developer. Now for project planning, the project manager is the consultant, the team lead is responsible, and the developer is accountable. For budget allocation, the project manager is consulted, the team lead is accountable, and the developer is responsible. Now, for the task assignments, the project manager is accountable, the team lead is consulted, and the developer is responsible. For the code review, the project manager is accountable, the team lead is informed, and the developer is accountable as well. Now for the testing, you have the project manager being consulted, the team lead is informed, the developer is also informed. Now for the documentation, the project manager is responsible, the team lead is consulted, and the developer is responsible. So that's just an example of what it looks like with the RACI matrix. Now we have talent development interventions. With talent development interventions, you want to identify the talent needs. And that process looks like clarifying your performance standards, identifying competency deficiencies. Second, you want to develop your existing staff. And that looks like coordinate selection processes, develop comprehensive workforce development initiatives. Then next is to build your talent pool. And that looks like communicate performance expectations, develop coaching or mentoring programs, and internal social networks. Now, steps to organizational culture interventions include describe the current culture, identify the aspirational culture, identify gaps in conflict, develop change initiatives. Now, the three categories of OED intervention include individual, team or unit, organizational. Now, with the individual intervention, these are directed at improving that individual's skills or performance. And the target for this could be high potential employees who lack the skills needed to deliver fully on their potential. It could also be those on PIP, those on performance improvement plans. Now, the second category of OED intervention would be the team or business unit interventions. Now, this would focus on processes and interactions within and between the teams. The third would be organizational interventions, which would impact the entire organization. Now, this would look at how the design, structure, and or the culture of that organization is helping or hindering its strategic process. Now, you have sensing meetings, And what happens when you have an OED intervention is you have sensing meetings to monitor the reactions and attitudes throughout the organization. You also have periodic intergroup meetings, which will evaluate and improve the new collaborative processes. Now, the three roles that individuals play within groups will be one, task roles, which is to help get the work done. And two will be social roles, which is to maintain relationships and positive group function. And three will be dysfunctional roles, which is where they weaken the group and reduce its productivity. Now let's look at let's look at Tuckman's 4 stages of team development. And the first stage is you have the forming, which is the first stage of team development where the team is being formed, they get to know each other, they learn what they would have to do to reach their assigned goals. The second stage is the storming, and this is where the reality of what the team is expected to do becomes clearer. You might have some conflict between team members. Then the third is the norming, and in this stage, the team members settle their differences and develop more trusting relationships. Sometimes this can be a negative form of groupthink, whereby everyone is saying the same thing, and this can dampen innovation and creative problem solving. The next is performing, which is where the team members begin to depend on each other and can effectively analyze and solve problems together. And as you can see from this image, you also have adjourning. This is where the team conducts an assessment of the year and implements a plan for transitioning roles and recognizing members' contributions.